barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free to hit the subscribe button. So this is my top 5 at 135. I like that. I like that ring to it, right? Everybody doing their countdowns today and tomorrow. Top songs of the decade, top songs of the year, top events, top bars. All right, let's jump into this. Number 5, Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is the 5th best 135-pound guy. And mind you, this is just based off of their last 2 fights. Okay, this ain't based off of what they did before. This is not based off of potential. This is based off what they've done in the ring. Okay, based off what they've done in the ring. Okay, it ain't their body of work. I'm just basing it off their last 2 fights. 'Cause that's all I can remember off the top of my head without going to box rec and say, oh, you fought him in January 2017. Oh, now I remember. No, it ain't none of that. It's what I remember this year. Number 5, Ryan Garcia. Good hand speed, straight up and down, a little bit stiff up top. He needs a black trainer, a black fitness trainer, so he can get some mobility. He can get some, you know what I mean? So he's not so much here and just, he has explosive hand speed, but he has more variation. He got to drop, throw the left hook, shit like that, pivot out, stay on his toes. A little bit tall, was very impressive in his last fight. Whether you thought it was a knockdown or not, he physically looked impressive. Okay. Number 4, Tank Davis. Tank Davis is number 4 on my top 5 at 135. The reason is simple: discipline. Simple discipline. Does he have the physical stamina to endure a 12-round, highly intellectual, highly skilled fight? I question that. And the question remains, can we completely trust Tank? Are we going to see him fight? Are we going to pay our tickets? Yeah. But can we trust him when we lay a $1,000 bet? That's a question we all got to answer. Right now, I wouldn't trust him because he lost the belt on his scales and he had to go back and lose weight to retain a belt at 135, which gave him his first fight at 135, which gave him a 5-pound cushion when you think about it from that perspective. You know, regardless, cutting weight is still tough. So I respect the fighters for that. Number 3, Vasyl Lomachenko. He hasn't impressed me this year. He's won. He fought a guy in April that's, who cares? Toyota Corolla. He fought him here in Los Angeles. And he fought Luke Campbell overseas. He didn't show no new wrinkles. You know what? I'm a flip-flop him. Number 3. Number 3, Teofimo Lopez. Yeah, I already know I don't respect his dad because of the racist remarks he's made in the past, and he's continuous talked about it. Andre Ward has spoken about it. Davis kid, the amateur that's turning pro next year after the Olympics, have talked about it. He's just said some insightful things that shouldn't be said, you know, and especially in public. And I mean, people can say what they want in private, you know, but in public, things shouldn't be said. Teofimo Lopez had some difficulty in May, came back in December and did a hell of a job against Richard Comey. Has a train of a right hand. Very explosive athlete. Skilled. Have some mental things that he needs to get rid of. Not get rid of, but needs to seek help at, because at the end of his last fight, he basically wanted to quit boxing. You know, and so I have him at number 3. This ain't based off of potential. This is what I'm going to repeat. This ain't off of potential. These are the fights that I saw this year. Number 2, Vasyl Lomachenko. And let me understand. Them being themselves. I'm not asking them to be who they are not. Okay? So if Lomachenko is an outboxer, I want to see how great he is at his style. You know what I mean? If Tank Davis is a downhill monster, intimidates you type of fighter, that's what I expect to see. You know, and Tank Davis is number 4 today, and I still have him at number 4 at the end of the year. So, I mean today. So number 2 is Lomachenko. Corolla, I think everyone in the top 5 beats Corolla that night. Luke Campbell. Whew, that's a tough fight. The Luke Campbell that fought this summer, I think it was this summer, was a hell of a Luke Campbell. Lomachenko had to dig deep and get him. He won the fight. Kudos to him. And he showed me that he's tough enough. He knows how to be tough and win the fights. You know, he's a gifted fighter. He was given too much too soon by the media. Is he an intelligent fighter? Is he as good as people say he is? He's good. But do I think that he can walk through 135 unscathed? I don't think he's that good anymore. I think he's on the other side of his apex. I think he's going downhill now, and he's attempting to preserve it as much as he can. And it looks like he doesn't have any bad habits. I've never seen him over 150, 160, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know that to be true, but he looks small. You know, he's smaller than me, you know, and I'm relatively a small guy, you know. So I have Lomachenko at number 2. Number 1, I have Devin Haney. And you say, why Devin Haney? Because he's won all his fights this year being Devin Haney. You know, he's an outboxer. His power has come alive this year. He knocked the guy out cold. He broke a guy's... he knocked the guy out cold. And then in September, he broke a guy something. I don't know. He broke something on a kid from Russia. And then he doubled back and outboxed the guy to 12 rounds. Unexpectedly to me, and I said this in an interview with them a long time ago, I'm just waiting on the power to come. And the power is coming. It's a public interview I had with him and Zab Judah and Mr. Haney. The power is coming. But he's a boxer, and he's won boxing. Coincidentally, he's knocked out a few people, 2 people this year. So just his consistency. And from May to November, he's fought 3 times. He was the most active of the 5 guys I just mentioned. So you got to give him credit for that. And it's an exciting time. He's out with an injury, so we'll see 2020. Maybe this changes. So number 5, I have Ryan Garcia. Number 4, I have Tank Davis. Number 3, I have Teofimo Lopez. Number 2, Lomachenko. Number 1, Devin Haney. My top 5 at 135. There you have it. Feel free, if you disagree, to cash at me $100 and voice your opinion. All right, but those are my top 5 at 135. If you think someone else is worthy of being in the top 35, feel free to let me know, and we'll discuss it further. So anyhow, man, Barbershop Conversations, do not forget, join my Patreon. I tell you how to live rent-free. So you can start building generational wealth and buy your first home. And I'm going to start posting more regularly. I'm going to have fun with Patreon now. And 2, we go live every night at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come on out. It's a show. We playing spades and dominoes. Leave your insecurities and your emotions on the other side of the door, because we're going to talk shit and swallow spit.